Hey, Shalom, Shalom, back at you with another hit. Hey, Salakia. I accidentally, I accidentally deleted the video I just done. So you know what, I'm gonna start again. Right, I was moving in haste a bit, but you know what, I don't mind starting again. That was just Satan. Satan didn't want that to get out. I accidentally deleted it, so bro, we're gonna do the same lesson, right? But we just switch it up a little bit. That last lesson I've done, it was basically on masonry. True masonry according to the scriptures, right? You have true masonry according to the scriptures. What's a mason? A builder, right? A master builder, right? Someone that builds. What are we building spiritually in the house? What house? The house of Dawud, the house of David. When you also have counterfeit masonry, which the devil will present before you, because the devil's a copycat. He's not original, and everything that's right, he turns left. So everything that's good, he does a carbon copy of it, right? So let's start with First Kings, Baba Kishar. And I'm so lucky about that. I've done a lesson, but again, I accidentally deleted it. So let's start again. This is First Kings, jump to chapter 5, right? And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants unto Solomon. For he had heard that he had anointed him king in the room of his father, who was King David, by the way, was ever a lover of David. Doesn't mean Hiram was a homosexual. It doesn't mean that. He was a lover of David. They were good friends. And Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, Thou knowest how that my David, my father, could not build an house unto the name of the Lord Yahweh, his power for the wars which were about him on every side, because he was being stressed on every side by war, until the Lord Yahweh put them under the soles of his feet. But now the Lord Yahweh, my power, have given me rest on every side. Solomon, right? That's why there was what? How long of peace? 40 years of peace, right? Until the Lord Yahweh put them under the soles of his feet. Now he was given rest. There was neither adversary nor evil occurrence. And behold, our purpose to build an house unto the name of the Lord Yahweh, my power. As the Lord Yahweh spake unto David my father, saying, Thy son, whom I will set upon thy throne in thy room, he shall build an house unto my name, right? So it'd be Solomon that would build that house, because David couldn't build that house at that time. Too stressed out, too many battles on every side. Now therefore command that they hew me cedar trees out of Lebanon, and my servant shall be with thy servants, and unto thee I will give hire for the servants according to all thou shalt appoint, for thou knowest that there is not amongst us any that can skill to hew timber like unto Sidonians. So, like I've said, with the masonry, a lot of people say, yeah, the British is the Knights of Malta, is the Knights of, Templar. Yeah, it has its origins in Britain, but the origins is with Solomon and Hiram, right? Who were experts in building, right? And you also had the Sidonians. And it came to pass when Hiram heard the words of Solomon that he rejoiced greatly and said, Blessed be the Lord Yahweh this day, which you have given unto David, a wise son over this great people. And Hiram wasn't an Israelite, by the way. He was just an ally of Solomon. And he was good friends with David, by the way. And Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I have considered the things which thou sentest to me for, and I will do all the desire concerning timber of cedar. So he was a master worker in what? Wood. And concerning timber of fir. My servant shall bring them down from Lebanon unto the sea. And you got to remember, at this time, Solomon was ruling, by the way, so he had what? Servants, tributaries. And I will convey them by sea in floats, in boats, right? Unto the place that thou shalt appoint me, and I will cause them to be discharged rare. Okay? And during the time of Solomon, basically, he sent people to the British Isles and all over the place to gather what? Peacocks, apes, gold, and tin. So even Solomon, yeah, he sent people to the British Isles, right? And it says, Baba Kashar, and it says, and desire in giving food for my household. So he paid him in food. So Hiram gave Solomon cedar trees and fir trees according to his desire. And Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 measures of wheat for food for his household. Right? He paid him off by food. Right? And 20 measures of pure oil. Thus gave Solomon to Hiram year by year. And the Lord gave Solomon wisdom, and he promised him. And there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, another nation. And they two made a league together. So it's not impossible for another nation to make a league with you when you're in power. So they were allied. And I get straight to the point. Jump to verse 16. Besides the chief of Solomon's officers, which were over the work, 3,300, which ruled over the people that wrought in work. And the king commanded, and they brought great stones, costly stones, huge stones. So there were stones being cut out as well, which goes into what? Masonry is what? They say stonework, brickwork, right? And woodwork, which ruled over the people that wrought in work. And they got costly stones and huge stones to lay the foundation of the house, right? As Sodom's builders and Hiram's builders did hew them, cut them with what? Saws, right? And stone quarters. So they prepared timber and stones to build their house. So, right? This is where you get the idea of masonry. You know, with the builders, stone masons, brick masons, and this is where you get it from, right? And this is where you get the lodges from. First Kings, excuse me just a minute. Go to, I'm not going to read all of it because there's a lot, right? All these were the costly stones, and 9. All these were the costly, according to the measures of a huge stone, sword with saws, right? Just like today, within and without, even from the foundation of the coping and so on, outward toward the great court. And the foundation was of costly stones, right? And you had the court, right? And the inner court, which you have today, even within lodges, right? And King Solomon sent and fetched Hiram out of Tyre, right? He was a widow son of the tribe of Naphtali, and his father was a man of Tyre, right? A worker in brass, and he was filled with wisdom. So this man with Tyre, he was a worker in brass, right? It's not easy to work brass, but brass is good to work with because it's bendable. It's not a heavy metal. You can bend it. It's flexible, right? And he was filled with wisdom and understanding and cunning work. All works in brass. And he came to King Solomon and wrought all his work, for he cast 2 pillars of brass, right? The 2 pillars go back to what? The lodges, right? You know, when within the lodges you have what? 2 pillars, right? Well, that's where it comes from. Okay, of 18 cubits higher piece, and line of 12 cubits did compass even them about. And he made 2 chapiters of molten brass to set upon the tops of the pillars, right? The 2 circles. The height of the one chapiter was 5 cubits. The height of the other chapiter was 5 cubits. The nets of the what? The checker work. What's the checker work? Right? The black and white checkerboard, right? Which they have today, right? The black and white checkerboard, what does that represent? Good and evil, right? It represents duality, right? Good and evil, up and down, right? So it says, Baba Kasha, and the checker work and refs of chain work for the chapiters which were upon the top of the pillars, 7 for one chapiter and 7 for the other chapiter. So this is where you get the idea of, you know, when you go into the lodges, right? Well, where do you think they get the idea from? It's probably all from the Bible. It's all from the Bible, right? So I want to go to that bit. You know, where it said, hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute. You know, when we were going to 1 Kings and 5 and 17, and it says, and the king commanded, they brought great stones, costly stones and huge stones to lay the foundation of the house. Now, there's a spiritual aspect to this, right? Go to Corinthians. Now let's go Corinthians 3 and 9, right? For we are laborers together with the Most High. So what do Masons teach you today, right? The left-hand side Masons. Yeah, we're a team or a body. You know, we work together. We are one. We're building society, right? Well, we're doing it in the manner of, you know, what was his name? Nimrod. Let's all come together and build a tower to the heaven. They're doing it in wickedness. They're not doing it in righteousness, right? The true builders are the builders of the house of David, the house of the word. They're the true builders. Huh? You got people talking about principles. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't, there's principles. You don't go against the principles. The principles are of the scriptures, the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? That's the true principles. Right? Not that left-hand sided. And when you say that, what do they mean by that? Well, what principles are you talking about? Are you talking about the satanic principles within Masonry? Because the things they have to do is not good. So let's go to Corinthians, Babaka Shah. We are laborers together with the Most High. You are Most High's husband, you are the Most High's building. So that's what we're supposed to be building. So even these lessons, even when brothers get together, that's what they're supposed to be building. It's spiritual house, right? A spiritual house. So we're building that spiritual house, that spiritual build. We're building it now. What did Yahushua say? He said the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's within. Okay, you don't got to look here and there, high enough. It's within you. We're building now, right? And it says, Baba Kasha, according, right, to the grace of the Most High, the mercy which He has given unto me. Who? Paul, because Paul was shown great mercy. He was persecuting the church before that. Okay? And it says, which is given unto me. I'm wise master builder. Wise master builder. Right? So Paul was referring to himself as what you would call a mason. A wise master builder. A master builder in this kingdom, in Satan's kingdom, would be known as a so-called 33-degree mason. Which that's your equivalent of your Scottish rites. The dawn of order. The golden dawn of order. Right? The highest rank within Britain, what's it? The Scottish rites. Right? And you have your blue lodges, you have your orange lodges, right? And I've already told you the blue, what does the blue represent? Your loyalty, your commitment to the brotherhood, right? Your discipline. And they tell you, we make men, you know, we make men, we furnish them, we better them. No, they don't. No, they don't. So, bro, what they tell you, see, with this what you gotta understand, the devil is a carbon copy leader. Now, is there people that are in Masonic lodges that really believe they're doing something to better society? Yes, there is. But they're the ones that have been fooled. Because when they really do find out, if they want to work their way up the ladder, they find out, oh man, I never knew. I'm head deep into this. I need to get out of that. So there's left-hand sided masonry and there's right-hand sided masonry. George Washington, what do you think he was? What do you think the so-called founding fathers of America were? They came out of Britain, right? Well, they were Masons, right? They were Masons, right? Okay. But were they good people? No, they weren't. Okay. But let's stick to the scriptures. A wise master builder. So Apostle Paul was saying he's a wise master builder. I have laid the foundation. So with any building, there needs to be a strong foundation, right? Or that building will topple. And another build if they're on. So that foundation is Yahweh Shai, the chief cornerstone, right? And another build if they're on. So with that stone, we build around that stone. But let every man take heed how we build if they're upon. So we have to build the right way. You can't build with black unconsciousness. Young Pharaoh, Tarek Nasheed. You can't build with that. That's not a foundation. That's sand. That's not rock. You build with rock, right? Brick. And that brick has to be flat. The surface has to be flat when you're building, right? So when you dig, you want a flat surface, right? Or that building might be tilted, all right? And it says, Baba Kasha, for other foundation can no man lay, and that is laid, which is of Yahweh Shai. You can't lay any other foundation. There's only one, and that's Yahweh Shai, right? So you got people calling themselves Masons, and Apparently, anyone can join. Apparently, any nationality can join. Well, the scriptures don't tell you that. The scriptures are very exclusive, right? So you can't build any other foundation. You got people that are part of masonry and they believe in all types of idols. You can't build with any other foundation except Yahweh Shai. Now, if any man build upon his foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, right? So when you put gold, silver, and precious stones to fire, that becomes purified. And this is referring to the hopeful elect. Wood, hay, stubble. What happens when you put fire to wood, hay, stubble? It burns up. And every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it what type of work it is. Because it shall be revealed by fire, and fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. Right? So this is what happens within this truth. Our works are being tried by fire to see what manner of work it is. Is it ready? Is it really going to stand? What is it? Is it gold? Is it silver? Is it a stone? Is it a gemstone? Or is it wood? Or is it just chaff that can get burnt up? And the fire should try every man's work of what sort. So all of our works are being tried to see if it really stands the test of time. If any man's work abide, which he have built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. So we better pray that our works abide. All right? If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss. So in terms of you coming to this truth with an individual and he goes right back into the world, are you going to suffer loss? But he himself shall be saved, yet so by fire. But you're still going to have to go through that fire. Right? So this is true masonry on the right-hand side. This is the true brotherhood. This is the true initiation. Right? This is the true initiation on the right-hand side. Oh no, these people, yeah, they're initiated, but they're initiated on the left-hand side. Guess who they're initiated to? Satan. Right? That's who they're initiated to. I want to go to Peter's Babakashah. Matthew 13 as well. Hey, so many things that are coming to my mind right now. Peter's. And like I said before, I already did do this lesson, but I accidentally deleted it, so I need to start again. Alright. Go to Peter's. This is Peter's 2. And 4, to whom coming is a living stone, right? A living stone, disallowed indeed of men, which is referring to Yahweh Shai, but chosen of the Most High and precious. So, the living stone, right, is Yahweh Shai, disallowed indeed of men. So, even when Yahweh Shai was on the seed, was he disallowed? Yes, he was. Type in that word disallowed, right? In other words, what was he? He was counseled. So, yeah, Yahweh Shai was counseled. Right? You have such a thing called counseling culture. Right? Disallowed indeed of men, but chosen and precious of the Most High. So in this truth, you could be disallowed indeed of men, and the world, but still chosen. Ain't that a beautiful thing? Right? Ye are also lively stones that built up a spiritual house. Check that word stones. We're supposed to be lively stones. This truth is supposed to make us lively, upbeat. Right? And I built up a spiritual house. So we're building a spiritual house right now. Right? This is a spiritual house. A holy priesthood. Right? So we are a holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices. Right? A spiritual house. A holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High and Yahweh Shai. So we want it to be acceptable. And so a house is being built. So we're all masons on the right hand side, right? I could use that term, right? And offer up spiritual sacrifices. Spiritual. Now, check the masons that are working for Satan. They do physical sacrifices on the left hand side. Yeah, they do that. They do on the left hand side. They still do animal sacrifice. A lot of these people, and human sacrifice. So that's wicked. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. We give our time, our dedication. Go to Romans 12. All right. Go to Romans 12. You know what? I don't even need to go to it. because I know it off heart. Romans 12, I beseech you therefore, brethren, that you offer your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable. So we want to be holy and acceptable. Living, because anything can happen to us when we're out here. That's why it says living sacrifice. Your time, your dedication. And be not conformed to this world. Right? Be not conformed to this world. So we don't want to be conformed. Now, check this out. Now, Masons within this society, right? What are they? They're higher level conformists. They're higher level conformists. To who? To Satan. Right? So please don't be tricked when they talk about Masonry. It's about principles, the good principles. No, they're not teaching you them good principles. They tell you they turn boys into men. No, they don't. No, they don't. Right? All their practice is wickedness. It's evil from what I'm seeing. Right? Right? You're wearing the blue, yeah, benevolence, charity, good deeds. Bro, that's a lie. Because all those things are in the scriptures. Right? And the devil doesn't do good deeds. Satan doesn't do good deeds. He does evil deeds. Right? And he tricks others to do evil deeds as well. Right? So you got to really examine what you're a part of. Okay? And it says, Baba Kashar. Check this out. Wherefore it is also contained, well, still on 1 Peter 2 and 6. Wherefore it is also contained, right? In the scripture, behold, I lay on Zion, a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believe on him shall not be confounded. So if you truly believe in Yahweh Shai, we're not going to be confounded. Yeah, people may think they can confound you. You're not going to be confounded if you're in Yahweh Shai. Right? Unto you, therefore, which believe he is precious, but unto them which be disobedient, the same stone which the builders disallowed. How are you going to disallow the main stone? The same is made the head of what the corner. Right? The same is made the head of a corner. Right? So how are you going to disallow, right, the cornerstone? The cornerstone. The chief stone. When you have a chief stone, you have to build around that chief stone, on top and around it. Right? That's what you have to do. Build on top of it and around it. So without Yahweh Shai, you can't do no building. Without Yahweh Shai, that building's gonna fall. Come crumbling down. Okay? And what else was we? That's it on that. Baba Kashar. And the stone, so hold on, babies. And stone of stumbling and a rock of offense. So Yahweh Shai was a stone of stumbling to a lot of people, and a rock of offense. A lot of people got offended when Yahweh Shai came on the scene. They felt a particular way. Okay? And it says, Baba Kashar, which stomach were being disobedient, whereunto they were also appointed to what that wrath. So, we've established that Yahweh Shai is that chief cornerstone, which we built upon. Right? So, yeah, there's masonry all throughout the Bible. And it begins with Solomon and the Hiram, when Solomon wanted to build the temple for the Heavenly Father Yahweh, because David couldn't do it, right, at that time. That's where it begins, right? But the devil, as he's is a carbon copy leader, he's not original, so he has to do that, but he does it on the left hand side, right? Because the devil also comes as the angel of light, disguised as the angel of light, right? And masonry, a lot of masonries, a lot of them have ties with charities as well. Yeah, you could join a lodge just by doing charity work, right? But the devil, bro, a lot of that money ain't even, a lot of that money ain't even going to the poor. Ain't even going to the poor, right? It's going to these organizations, right? Okay. So that's it on that. And I also want to go to Matthew 13 because something came to mind. Check this out as well. Matthew 13 and 10, right? And he answered, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables, dark sayings? And he answered and said unto them, because it's given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of the Most High. It's given unto you. It's not given unto them. Mystery. Typing that word mystery in the Greek, in the blue letter lexicon, is mysterion in the Greek. Mysterion. And it comes up with different definitions. It says, given to the few initiated, given to the godly, but hidden from the wicked, right? And given to the few initiated, right? And to the few called. So you get initiated into Yahushua and the brotherhood, and he breaks down these mysteries to you, right? We get initiated on the right hand side. Not none of that rubbish, that Greek, not none of that Greek fraternity, Alpha, Sigma, none of that rubbish, right? And it says, right? But to them it is not given. So it's not given to everyone. Just within Masons on the left hand side, they have secrets. Well, guess what? We have secrets. We have knowledge. Okay? But to them it is not given. So what we know, it's not been given unto them. Right? And what they have, what Masons have on the left hand side is what you call portal knowledge. They have a little bit of portal knowledge. And yeah, if you want to be a master Mason, I'm talking about building as well, you have to know what's it? Geometry. You have to be skilled in geometry. You know, measurements. That's why they have a compass. That's why they have a compass, right? Measurements and so forth, right? Okay. Guess what? What does that compass represent? 33 degrees. It's 33 degrees, right? So they deal with measurements. They deal with numbers. They deal with precision, right? You have to be, if you're going to be a master builder, you have to get them. I've even learned that. My father was showing me a thing or two. You have to get the lines right. You have to get the positions right. Right? That's what you have to do. You can't mess when you're building. Right? But this is the thing. Yeah, they have certain secrets and knowledge. Yeah, I'll give it to them. Yeah, people on the left, they do. But it's portal knowledge that is given to them by Satan. That's the difference. That's the difference. Right? And they create a system, right? You know, you have this system, and Satan, remember, Satan knows, well, there's enough people on earth, so let me see how much I can recruit and jump into. So there's a system, right? Okay. And Satan sees, well, there's a lot of people. Let me see who I can jump into. So you have this system, and you have these people that are demonically possessed, who Satan jumps into, and they're given certain level of portal knowledge, and they walk around upon earth because they're being used by Satan. And yes, does Satan give them supernatural gifts? Yes, he does. Right? Look at Jimi Hendrix. Look at some of your great, so-called great musicians. Right? Okay. And not just musicians. This is every aspect of life. People that are so-called talented. Why? Because Satan gave them talents in return for conformity, and for him to jump in and out of you at his will. Now that's left-hand side Masonry explained in a nutshell, right? Now, that's, if you're wise, that's not what you really want. You want the spirit of Yahushua to be in you, because now we have talents, Matthew 25, that he gives you, God-given talents. Now Satan can give you talents, and the most likely, see, everything Satan does, you're going to realize is counterfeit. Everything. Right? So let's go back to Matthew 13. Right? And where was we? 12? For whomsoever have, to him shall be given. What? This understanding. You get given more. And he shall have more abundance. But whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away, even that he have. So those that don't have the understanding, it'll be taken away, even a little that he has anyway. Therefore I speak to them in parables, dark riddles. Again, now let's acquaint this with both sides. Parables is what, a metaphor, just for a few to understand, right? A lingo for a few to understand. Even Masons on the left hand side, they do the same thing, right? They do the hand gestures, they do the scratching of the head, they do the beeping, right? They signal to each other. So that's on the left-hand side. There's such thing as parabolic talk in a metaphorical sense. So it's only meant for those that are supposed to understand, those that are in the know. Okay? And it says, therefore I speak to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not. Neither do they understand. That's why Yahushua spoke to them in parables. Because those that were supposed to understand, they would understand. Okay? And it says, Baruch Shah. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing you shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see and shall not perceive. Right? For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing. In other words, they're stupefied. They have their minds are being blocked. Right? There's any time they shall see with their eyes and hear with their ears and should understand with their heart and should be converted, and I should heal them. So once Yahushua wakes them up, they could be converted to this faith. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. That this is referring to the elect, because Yahushua is what open up our minds to this truth, right? And it's supped with you to be able to get it. So even with this truth, the whole masonry, all of that, yeah, what masons on the right hand side were master builders, building the house of Dawad, right? Building the house of Dawad. See, remember, there's a balance to everything, good, evil, right? And the scripture says, woe to them that call evil good and good evil. This is what masons on the left hand side do. They call evil good and they call good evil. So they persecute those that are good. And yeah, masons are taught that as well. If you don't have an enemy, go make an enemy. And the enemy would be someone that's good, a Christian, or someone that's doing good. That's what they're taught. That's what they're taught. But I thought these are good, loving, benevolent people. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're evil. Right? And they have a quote. All is fair in war. That's what they say. I think that's what they say. All is fair in war. You know? They're demonic. They're not really going by the principles of the scriptures. They're not really led by the principles of the scriptures. Oh no, they're led by principles. They're led by satanic principles. Right? Because they're not practicing what they preach. They're hypocrites. Right? If you're going to do this thing, do it properly. On the right hand side. Right? So with this, I'm going to shut off here. Lord willing, this was edifying. Right? And you've learnt now about the true principles of masonry and the foundations, which goes all the way back to the Messiah, who was the master builder. Right? Which was Solomon, if you can receive it. And Hiram helped him out with those buildings to build that temple. He was a master builder in brass, right? And cunning, all cunning work, right? And that's what a master mason is. He has skill, right, in his craft, real craft. See, being a craftsman, that's not wicked, but you have those that are craftsmen and those that practice cunning craft on the left-hand side. And what was Esau? He was a cunning hunter. And if you're cunning at something, you're skillful, so you know how to lay traps. So, example, if you're in any professional construction, whatever it may be, wiring, electricity, contractor, you shouldn't use your cunningness to be wicked. You're supposed to use them skills for good, not evil, right? You use your skills for good, not evil, right? Not to manipulate. So with this, I hope this was edifying, and until the next time, Shalom.